Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. My name is Carla Freire, and I'm a program manager at Enterprise Nation. For those of you joining an Enterprise Nation Lunch and Learn for the first time, we're a vibrant community of small businesses and business advisors that exist to shortcut your route to trusted business support. In today's Lunch and Learn, I'm joined by Gill Wilson. She will explain why keywords are important for getting noticed online. She will also share free tools that will help you find the best keywords for your content and show you how to use them effectively. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please post them in the chat and we will do our best to answer them at the end of the session. Today's webinar will be recorded and we will send a follow-up email to you with the recording and further resources. That's all from my side, and I will leave Jill the virtual stage now.
Thank you so much, Carla. So I am Gill Wilson from Buttered Toast, and we are the people that people call if they need a website built or changed or looked after. And we help people to start to earn more from their website. And I've been making websites since the 1990s, possibly longer than some of you have been alive. And I've watched how people have changed the way they search over the web in that time. But of course, I don't know everything, and there is a great amount of knowledge probably that will be available even in the room today. So feel free to share any knowledge that you have in the chat, get to know each other in the chat, and of course, ask questions in the chat. I'll try and keep an eye on it and see how we do, if I can answer questions as we go. But if not, then hopefully Carla will help me and we can take some questions at the end. So this is our takeaways, which Carla summarized very, very well. So let's start. Okay, why do I need things called keywords? Keywords are words and phrases that people use to search for information on Google and other search engines. And when you choose the right keywords for your website or your blog, you can increase your chances of being found by potential customers. There's a few things that you need to keep in mind when choosing your keywords. One is that they need to be relevant. They should be relevant to your website or your blog content as well as to your audience. The other thing that you need to think about is the volume of search. So how many people are actually searching for the keywords that you're going after. So you want to really choose, obviously, the ones that are relatively high in search, but not so high that they're too competitive. And that's a little bit of the skill and the art. And that comes around to keyword difficulty. And the difficulty is a kind of measure of how easy or difficult it is to rank. That means how high up you get on the search engines for a particular keyword. And you'll want to choose keywords that are challenging, but not impossible to rank for. Keywords, incidentally, are not necessarily just one word. You can have multiple words, even in a short keyword. So you can have short-tailed, sometimes you'll hear them called, and long-tailed. And long-tailed just means that there's more words, but you would still call it a keyword. So hopefully that is relatively clear. So let's get into the important part that we're really all here to do, and that's to see what kind of tools out there we can use to find some of these elusive keywords. So I'm going to do a little demo, and there's a few keywords that I'm going to use. These are ones that I've found are free to use, so you don't have to pay for them. Although some of them you'll have to sign up for, and Google, you actually have to put a credit card in, but they won't take any money if all you're doing is using the keyword planner. So these are the ones that we're going to look at this afternoon, whatever time of day it is. Okay, right, I'm going to switch over to the ones I prepared earlier. Please bear with me while I pull up the correct window. And I'm going to start off with this one here. It's called the Keyword Surfer, and this is a little Chrome extension which you can just add in to your Chrome browser. Now you just go to surferxpo.com and click on the Add Chrome, follow the instructions, add Bob's your uncle, you'll be able to install it. And the other one that's also a home installation that I'm going to have a quick look at is Ahrefs. So Ahrefs is one of the bigger tools that has a paid for offering, but it has a lot of free stuff that you can access, which is really cool. And as you can see, there's lots of free articles and things, lots of information that you can go and find out about it. So the search term I'm going to use today is business code. So what I've done is I've installed both of those little extensions into my browser, and I've done a search for business code. Now, the first thing you can see is that it's already decided that it knows where I am. Okay, so if you're wanting something a little bit more generic, or you want to look further afield, then you would want to use a incognito browser window. And although that's not foolproof, you can go a little bit further. However far you go with this depends on how important this is to you. You can do things like use tools to mask your location and things like that if you want to. But for the purpose of this, I've left it knowing my location. And as you can see, over on the right-hand side, there's a whole load of stuff going on here that you might not see in your browsers if you don't have these plugged in. And you can see already that it's starting to give me keyword ideas. UK, London, near me, salary, certification. So you can go down these, you can copy it, give you little useful ideas, and you can save this to a list, and you can export that to CSV. Now, if I just switch that off, this one here comes from the keyword surfer, and it's a very similar idea. It gives me lots of different ideas of things that I might want to use, and it gives you a little bit more information. So the volume here, so you can see that coaching for companies has quite high volume, and it takes you down to things like Business Mentor UK. They're smaller, and you can see that it gives you a percentage overlap, and that's just the percentage overlap of this term with the one you actually put in here. Okay, so these are really quick and dirty ways to get the brain juices flowing and get some good ideas about what keywords you might want to use. Another way you can do this is to get you started is to look at your competitors, if you have any direct competitors, and work out what keywords they have been going after and what they are ranking for. And you can either copy some of their things. You can't really copy exactly because actually your goal is to beat them, not to. So you want to do it better than them. Okay. Or you look at the niches that they have missed. So they may be going after business mentor, but you might go after mentor business. Okay, so let's move on to one of the ones that gives you a little bit more in terms of what you can get out of it. So Moz is another of the big boys in SEO tools out there. And again, they have a paid offering that is quite expensive, but again, they have lots of free tools, and you can see here some of the free tools they have. We're going to look today at the Keyword Explorer, but you can have a look at these yourself and explore them and have a go at them. Okay, so I have opened mine up. When you do this, you need to sign up for an account, but that's okay. It's very easy to do. And then I'm clicked on the keyword research, and this takes you into this Keyword Explorer interface. And you can see that at the moment it's set for the United States, but I would probably set it for the United Kingdom. But what you're looking for is to look for where your ideal customers are. So if you're an export company that exports to China all the time, then you're going to look at China here, or whatever your relevant country is. If you're based in the UK and most of your peeps are in the UK, then stick with that. Okay, so but just keep an eye on that, because if you have the wrong country in there, then you might waste your searches. And this is where I can show you that you can see I have 1 of 10 available until that is the 1st of September, not the 9th of January. And that means that I have had to prepare some earlier so that I didn't use up all my searches. So here's some that I prepared yesterday, which, let me see. Okay. In this one that I did yesterday, I searched for business coach as we did in the other page. Now, as you can see here, here's some of the interesting things that you can, it's a lot more information than just those little tools, browser tools can give you. You got this big amount of volume, but it also gives you this interesting thing, a difficulty score. So 43 for difficulty, that's relatively high, and you'll get used to sort of these levels and what are good levels to go for your particular need. And organic click-through rates. This is when people find your website, how many of them are actually going to then click through and go on and look at it. And as you can see, there'll be more suggestions here. And when you click on this button here, it gives you even more. And you can also see that it's going to give you SERP. So that's the search engine results analysis. So it gives you some great information about that. So I'll come back to that in a wee minute. So business coach on its own, going to give you lots and lots of volume, but it's quite hard to go after. Okay, how can we help that bit? So let's try for business coach London. What happens then? You can see immediately that the monthly volume drops significantly, okay? If you're narrowing it down to the location of, say, London. But the good thing is the difficulty has also reduced as well. So that means that it's possibly a little bit more within my reach if I start using business coach London as a keyword rather than just business coach. And you can see how that works. And the great thing about it is that the click-through rate is still really high. So when people find this term, they're still clicking through to it and using it. Okay, can we make this any better? So the next thing I went and looked at was business coach South London. And what happens here? Oh, well. Oh, I think I got the wrong one. Let me just try this. That's it. Apologies, guys. Oh, I've gone into all of the suggestions for this one. So I've come out of the thing. So what you can see is that when you click on all keyword suggestions, you get a lot more suggestions. So you can go right the way down and the relevancy trails off as gone. And there's pages and pages of these. And you can see the monthly volume beside these. Now you can see that compared to what we were looking at before, the London Business Coach, so that's just switching the name Business Coach London around a bit. You can see that that makes a huge difference to the volume that comes through. Life and Business Coach got a little bit more, and this gives you a lot more information. So what to do is to start looking at these, start pulling them together, start looking at the volumes, start looking at the way around the words are. So Business Coach London or London Business Coach, what is it that is going to work best for you? Because these are going to make a difference to how many people are actually searching for these terms. And you can leap even further into this. Here's one about spiritual coach London, life coaches. You can have go right into business coaches for retail, for corporate. You can dig right into this. Whatever your need is, dig right into it. Okay. Let's just see where we're going next. If London, we've just done that one. Okay. The next one I went for was executive leadership and business coach in East London. So that's even more drilled down because people are really we know that we want to get really close to what we're finding. So if I want a dentist for my daughter who's kind of scared of dentists, I'm going to search. I'm not just going to go dentist near me. I'm going to go dentist good with children for nervous patients in the West End of Glasgow, which is where I'm based. So people are very savvy now since COVID about how they search. So you want to make sure that you're getting the exact right person into your website so that you can target those people and get them the information that they're searching for, but also build up that relationship with them, get them to know, like, and trust you, so that when it comes to using services, your services are the ones that they're going to use. So again, you can see when I start even deeper in the sometimes there is no data available because the search volumes are quite low, and so this tool is not able to find them. Some of them do have search volumes, like this one has 6, so again that's quite low, but that's for top executive coaches UK. Now it might be that you're going for a very niche market, and actually 6 is not too bad, and that might be your sweet spot, because if you can really target those 6 searches a month, and you see only one of them comes to your website, and then you maybe pick up a client once a month, and that might be okay for you depending on your business model. If you're a high volume business and you want more people in that, you're going to have to look for higher volume keywords. Okay. Okay, so this is the other page, this SERP analysis page. So when you click on that, you can see, hopefully you can see this. It looks a wee bit fuzzy to me. I'll just make it a bit bigger. Hopefully you can see that. This gives you a little bit more information about some of the example results from search engine results pages. So, for example, this one, Life and Business Coaching, South East London. Here's the URL. You can go and have a look at it if you want to. It looks directly. It gives you a little bit more information. It's got this thing called paid authority and domain authority. So they're kind of made up numbers, but the theory is that the search engines rank all websites with an authority number, and that's really about how valuable they perceive your website to be. And so they will give it a number. So the search engine tools quite often have their own version of this, and that it's a comparison. Use it with a pinch of salt, but use it to compare yourselves to others. So when you run your own site against some of these sites, if you've got a domain authority of 2 and your competitors have a domain authority of 50, then you need to work on your domain authority, and that's a whole other talk. So, but it's useful to know what's going on with these. Okay. Right, so that is a quick look at Moz, and now I'm going to move on quickly to my favorite free tool, which is Google Keywords. Okay, so Keyword Planner is part of the Google Ads suite. So that means that you have to actually sign up for Google Ads, which is where I did. You need to put in your credit card number so that they have that, and it then gives you access to all the Google Ads stuff. But you don't need to even so don't be scared of it. Just look for the Keyword Planner under Tools, and you can come in here. Now, the great thing about this is that unlike Moz, you don't have, oh, I'm not going to reload. Oh, it's going to make me reload. Of course it is, because we're doing a demo. Apologies for this. It's what happens when you set things up in advance. So the Keyword Planner is going to let me do as many searches as I want. So I'm going to discover some new keywords. I'm going to start out with business quote. Apologies. Google is trying to be helpful. And get some results. You can see this looks a lot more technical than the other one. It's very compact information. So it's going to give you lots and lots of information. So here's your volume searches is in this column. You can see some information. So over the last 3 months or the year on year, has it gone up or down? So now this is the interesting one here. Business quotes for entrepreneurs has gone up in the last 3 months by 900%. So that would be something that I would be very interested in keeping an eye on to see if that might be a search term that more and more people are looking at. Also for entrepreneur quote, not much change in 3 months, but the year-on-year changes since last year, that has gone up 900%. So that is quite interesting. You can also see that if you were to do ads, it gives you some idea of what the cost per click of these ads would be. Now, if I go back in to the keywords and I try the keywords that we were talking about, so the say the executive business quote, East London, get results. Well, you can see that it's not got much information on that, and I think 1 to 10, that's maybe not worth my while. But what it can do is give you some really cool opportunities to expand your search. This here says broaden your search, and it gives you some really good suggestions of things that you might actually want to tip into. Executive business quote sounds good to me. I'll add that and get some results for that. Let's see what happens. Oh, look, there we go. We've got lots more there. And again, it's giving you this competition column, which tells you how much competition you're basically going to get into with this. So executive business quote, it's got the search 10 to 100, and it's got medium competition. So it might be that for you in your business, medium is good enough to go after it. But it might be you think, no, I want to go for some low-hanging fruit. So you start looking for the ones that are rated as low competition, but still have a decent amount of monthly searches. So executive coaching companies, that is one that might be of interest to you, or a professional business coach that might be of interest to you. So, okay, lots and lots of keywords, lots and lots of ideas about what ones to go after. What the heck do we do with them? All right. What do I do with them? Okay. First of all, you start putting them on your website. Okay, so there are definitely places you want to get them into. Make sure that you get them into the headings on your website pages within some H tags. So you have some tags for headings, H1, H2, etc. So you want to make sure they're in that. Particularly your primary keyword needs to be in your H1 tag. So get them on those headings. Make sure that it's in your meta information. That's some information about your website, and with summary information, you want to make sure your keywords are in there. Your images, make sure that they are in the alt tags. Alt tags are little tags that you can put on an image that will be not only picked up by screen readers for people with visual impairment, but are also picked up by search engine crawling bots. They're very good for that. You want to make sure that your links, any link you have in the pages, have your keywords in too. And reviews. This is my absolute favorite. I love this one. So Google reviews. If somebody is doing a Google review for you, and if you haven't got Google reviews set up, I would really advise that you do get that set up. You can ask them when you say, would you mind giving me a Google review? Would you mind also mentioning this word or that word, or talking about, so for me, I might say, would you mind talking about search engine optimization and websites in Glasgow? And they might do that for you. And if they do, then what you want to do, and even if they don't, for every review you get, make sure you reply to everyone, good or bad. Always reply politely and professionally, and use your own keywords in the reply as well. Brilliant. Use your keywords in your LinkedIn profile, in any comments you're making on LinkedIn and any other socials that you're using, make sure you're using those keywords, always thinking about them. Your email marketing, if you're not doing that already, maybe have a think about whether you can start building up an email list, because it's a great way to market to potential customers for them to get to know, like, and trust you, and use your keywords in those emails as well. And of course, obviously, paid advertising, as we saw in the Google Keyword Planner, that you can use that to do adverts as well, run adverts and get your listing to the top of the search. Of course, if lots of people are advertising in your keywords, then you won't appear in the front page. So again, finding the right keywords, even if you're advertising, is very, very important, because you want to make sure that if you're paying for advertising, you're actually getting seen and you're going to be found really quickly. Okay, let me see. Have I missed anything with that? Okay, here's some little additional tips. So use a variety of keywords throughout your site or your website. In your blog content, blogs are great for being able to add additional keywords, because of course it's really difficult to distill our whole business into 1 or 2 words, isn't it? We want to be able to tell people about lots of our different services or opportunities, and blogs are great ways to do that and to get your keywords in there. You can target long tail keywords. That's what we talked about earlier. So using more words, because that's more specific. And as we say in our networking organization, specific is terrific. Use keywords everywhere you can think of. Okay. Link to other pages within your website using those keywords, and optimize your website for mobiles. I think we all know that, don't we? Yeah. Brilliant. That's all I've got for just now. So if anybody has any questions, I think we may have a few minutes for questions.
Hi, Jill. Thank you so much for your presentation. It has been great to hear all this information. And we have some questions. I will go to them. The first question is from Karen, and she says, what is an ideal search volume?
That depends on your business and your business model. So the ideal will be different for different businesses. So if you are a low-cost, high-volume business, so for example, say you're selling pencils or pencil cases or something, and you need to sell a lot for your profit margin, then you're going to be looking at the higher end of the volume. So you're going to be looking for thousands potentially in that. Like I used in that example, if you're maybe an insurance person and you only need, say, 3 new clients a year, then you can really niche down into places where the volume is much, much smaller. The thing is, don't be afraid to try things, because some might work and some might not. So trying and experimenting with what works in your business is really important in that.
That's very helpful. And other question is from Chilena. And in terms of the word order, how can you leverage this when you are writing for Google and humans?
That's really, really good question, because you really have to remember, although we're talked a lot about doing content for search engines, we are actually writing content for people, and good quality people content for people is the most important thing you can do. So always start there with your content and the quality of it. Then you can look at the wording and say, okay, do my keywords really feature in this? Can I get them in here and still keep it really natural and good quality, easy to read for people? So it's content first, then think about how to apply your keywords. And because remember, it's not just your written content, you can apply them, you can put them in your images, your headers, your page descriptions and things as well. So you've got lots of opportunities as well as in the text.
Sorry, I couldn't mute myself. Thank you so much. And we have other question is from Hayden. For somebody who wants to keep their website optimized and understands SEO, but is not a specialist, is there an SEO platform you would suggest someone sign up for and uses as a general platform?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how much money you want to spend in some senses. If you're going free, then you can see that the little tools that I showed you today, they all do something slightly different, and it depends what you find is the most useful in your business. If you want a complete tool, then you're probably going to end up having to pay for it, unfortunately. And these can be, up to like £300 a month. They can be quite pricey. So, but that might be a worthwhile investment if you are really needing to focus on that search engine optimization to keep the number of leads flowing into your business. That could be a good investment for your company. And the ones that I showed are great players. Ahref and Moz are both very, very good at what they do. There are others out there, and there's a website called AppSumo, which offers cheap software to people, and you can sometimes find tools written by people who are just starting out that will get better over time, and you can get maybe a once lifetime deal, and that sometimes can really pay off. And so it can be worth keeping your eye on those and seeing what tools come up there too.
That's perfect. And Sakura says, how do we know which keywords best match our audience? Or is it better to put all of them on our site and see which keywords our customers are drawn to, or keywords that our site is known for?
You need to do some work in advance of the keyword searches, and that's about understanding your audience. So you need to do some research about your ideal customer and your audience. You can do some questionnaires with some of your past customers. Ask them if they were ask them a question. If you were searching for me now, what would you type in? Get some ideas from your actual customers, or maybe people that you know, friends and family, people associated with your business. Do some research and find out what people might search for. Look at your competitors as well. What are the keywords they're using? Because if they're using them, they've probably done that research as well. And so you need to do that research in advance to find out what they're searching for. Also, make that a continual thing as you start to, like I say, trial and error. If you go after a keyword and you're not getting any nibbles from that, then go back to the research, go back to the drawing board. Do I really understand my customer? Do I really know how they're searching? Ask the questions again.
That's helpful. And just to wrap up, like Hayden asked, what was the name of the last platform that you showed?
The Google keywords. Yeah, so that's it. You sign up for Google Ads, and then within that, there is you look for the keyword planner. If you Google Google keyword planner, it should take you there, and then you sign up there.
Sorry, Jill. Hayden says, is the one that you mentioned, not like the one that you showed, but the one that you mentioned in your answer?
In my answer, Moz is one, MOZ, and Ahrefs. That's as it sounds, Ahrefs. So if you search for either of those two, you'll get some. But they have a lot of free tools you can use even before you start paying. So they're definitely worth trying out, seeing if they work for you in your business.
Great. And just the last question is from Shelena again. How can you check what keywords your competitors are using?
Yep, that's good. So you can look and, type in something and what you think you're going to search for. If you're typing in, the easiest way to do this is to type into Google or other search engine what you think people will type in for your business, and do your competitors come up. If your competitors come up, then whatever you typed in is what they're actually going after. Okay, you can then look at their website. You can use the browser tools to view source, and you can see their headers, their descriptions, things like that. and you can look in those and you can see, it's quite obvious, you can probably see what keywords they're looking at, because you'll be able to see them in the descriptions, you'll be able to see them in their text, you'll be able to, because they'll be repeated throughout the page. You can also use those browser tools. I didn't show you this in this particular one, but the Ahrefs has another nifty tool in it with their browser tools that you can actually analyze a page, and it will tell you a lot more information about keywords and headings and things like that. So
thank you so much, Gill. And thank you everyone for joining us on today's webinar. You can connect with Gill on Enterprise Nation, and I have put the link to her profile on the chat as well. As you can see, she's an expert on this topic. And we will be sharing the recording and further resources in a follow-up email this afternoon as well. And thank you, Gill, again for joining us.
thank you so much.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.